So this is a 69 GTO. We got so fed up with working on the 67, just went out and bought a 69. But no, just kidding guys, it's still in works. It's underneath the tarp. We're slowly working on it, but I gotta pay the bills. This is a customer's actually. It's a 69 GTO with a 455 in it. This body job was done 18 years ago and done very well. It still looks really great. It's had about 30,000 K on it since then, I think. He does drive it quite a bit. It's got the optional hood tack, really nice interior black, really nice blue on it. Couple issues with it is the rear axle seals are leaking, so we're going to swap those. You do have to take the brakes out of the way to get at those axle seals, so I'm not going to show you guys how to do those brakes. They're pretty complicated, lots of springs and stuff in there, lots of ways to do it wrong. So, and also he forgot to tighten his exhaust manifolds. He's got hooker headers on an aluminum head. It's got the Edelbrock Performer heads on it with the matching Performer RPM intake, and the bolts rattled loose and he blew one of the exhaust gaskets out. So we're just gonna pull them off, pull the gasket out, then probably see if we can tip it back and clean it, and then we'll slide the new one in, bolt it right back up again. He put this Ultra Seal Mr. Gasket in there 13 years ago. He had the engine redone. It lasted 13 years and it probably would have still been fine if he would have retorqued them. We're definitely going to torque the other side. We're not going to touch them because they're not leaking yet. Other than that, I know those Pontiacs, they do have a big issue with the exhaust gaskets leaking, and I know our 400 also on the dyno, I could see that brand new gaskets, even though they were the steel ones, probably leaking because they are the steel ones. We're gonna go get a set of these as well, and throw those on there. So yeah, here we go. So on our GTO there, got all our brakes taken apart. I won't show you guys how to do the brakes, but I will tell you do one side at a time. Just keep your parts nicely organized, left or front, back. Just lay them out nice. Make sure you lube your star adjuster so that it turns nicely, and buy a kit for all the springs, and that helps out a lot. We're going to take that axle out, so just 4 bolts all the way around, and then it's a pressed on bearing, so we're going to take those bolts out and the axle should slide right out. So you can see the axle seal in there, tucked in nicely at the back. Hasn't leaked yet, but the other side is leaking, so a crow's foot works nice for pulling these out. Just stick it in behind, make sure you don't grab the sorry about that, that popped out. Pretty good, the camera went flying. This is a great little camera. It's taken a lot of abuse and it's still good. Here's the seal. The little springer on the outside always faces the oil side. Now we're gonna just use some sandpaper, clean the inside, grab the new seal, make sure it's the same. Now you can see the axle here. See where the line is, where the seal's riding. You really want to take your fingernail and just run it across, and if you can feel something, more than likely it's going to leak again because of that. So a couple things you can do. You can see the difference. I got this whole shaft here to work with the seal. This bearing actually rides right in front of this lip here, so just by putting the seal in a different spot, like not bottoming it out all the way, ensures that it doesn't ride on that groove again. So having the seal ride right here, you got a fresh surface again. You can also, if you want to bottom your seal out, just make sure you get a different seal. So this is SKF, and I think this was a national seal, so just that might have the seal actually riding in a different spot. Also, make sure that you put a little bit of sealant. If it's colored, if it's red or green or blue, it means that there's a sealant on it, and it's heat that softens it up. So as you're sliding it in, you get a lot of drag, and it melts that little seal, and then when it cools down, it dries off again. But this one is just straight tin, so put a little bit of sealant around it. So just a little bit of silicone or gasket blue, whatever you like. You can use this seal to drive it back in again because it's the same lip. So if you then you know that you're pushing on the very outside, just push it back in again this way. Otherwise, there's nothing else really to it. Pop it back in again. A little bit of silicone on the gasket here, even though this is just like an extra little seal. It does all the sealing right in there. Pop your axle back in again, then top up your oil, and we're golden. So here we go. So the header gasket is pretty self-explanatory. This is what happens when the bolts work themselves loose. It blows a chunk of the gasket out. So replace the gasket. It's a little tight with the hooker headers. Had to remove the starter and the bell house or torque converter cover to get at it. That's all fixed now. Now it's time to test drive it. I love my job. Reminds me of my Firebird. My Firebird was only a 350. This is a 455. But just the smell, the way it sits, the kind of worn out seat a little bit. Still the same kind of rumble, just because it had a cam in it. I don't know exactly what kind, but yeah, loving it. Same little bit of wind noise coming from the door. Beautiful. I even had to shower and change my clothes into my good clothes. So I'm not filthy rich, I'm just rich right now. I'm feeling like it. Hopefully getting more into these kind of jobs. I do like the tractors and stuff. A lot of leaks though, which is kind of a pain. It's neat driving them and working on them. Such a massive piece of engineering. And in all honesty, the 255 is worth about two times as much as this, but maybe even 3. This is kind of more fun. Although I can take my daughters for a ride up and down in the tractor. Can't really do that in the GTO so much, but well, these are some life goals if I've ever had any. And a better way to test drive a customer's vehicle than to the beer store. Saturday afternoon. I must have some hard water because I pressure washed the car off and I got spots on it, so I'll have to wipe it down. But that's it, done for the day. I'm actually going on holidays this week, so my vacation starts right now. Here we go. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you love the channel, consider picking up a tape boss to make those projects go faster so you got more time to watch YouTube. And remember, if you're not filthy, you're not rich. I don't know what's more work, working in the shop or going on vacation, but looking forward to a week off. We got a cottage up north. A good chance to figure out the actual mileage of the Tahoe because I'm always pulling something and a short trips to town. So it's about 500K one way. We'll do a bunch of driving around town, so I'll get some highway driving and some city driving, kind of combine the two, try to find an actual average of semi-loaded truck, but no trailers or anything, and then see how it does in a long trip. So far I've got about 40,000K on it since the build. I drive it a lot. No real issues yet. We'll see what happens on the long trip this time, but it's running good, so we shouldn't have any issues. So looking forward to some fishing and some partying. We started last night already because it's officially vacation time. But yeah, here we go.